think. And I think today is the last day of the long weekend. So I'm going to talk a little bit about right now. I've been seeing a lot of very disturbing things, right? Especially when it comes to going through the content over in social media. Over in this platform and also other video platforms, I noticed that more and more people are actually losing their jobs, number one. But what I find more scary is that they are actually blaming the economy, right? So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how sometimes it may not be the economy, rather it could be us also as one of the factors, right? So I I guess from the top, right? Right now, we can see that more and more, we can see that companies they are letting go of people, right? And right now, drilling down to why they're doing this is number one, we could see that machines are getting a lot smarter, right? Number two, machines are getting faster. Number three, machines are getting better, right? And number four is getting so much cheaper. So right now, I can see more and more machines are actually overtaking or taking a lot of the human jobs. And with that, let's be very honest lah, right? If you take a human and a machine, right? And if the machine can actually do the same thing as a human being, right? Humans, they need to rest. Humans need an increment every once in a while. Humans also need their holidays, right? Machines, however, you can actually, if machines can actually do the same function as a human, right? Machines, they don't have anything like the unions. Machines doesn't have things like a pay increment. Machines doesn't have things like putting money aside for their pensions, right? So we can see this particular thing where right now, as machines are getting faster, better, and cheaper, we can see that more companies are actually adopting automation. And with companies adopting automation, we can see that massive job loss, right? And it's not only in the tech sector. Right now, we can see a lot of headlines, right, coming out from the tech sector stating that that a lot of people are losing their jobs, right? And truth be told, even myself, right, I am in an investment banking industry. Even I actually, my company actually decided to close down. So a lot of my colleagues and myself, we actually lost our jobs, right? So let me give you an example of this particular thing personally, right? So back when I first started working about 10 or 15 years ago, right? Working in the investment banking industry was a prestige, right? And at that point in time, machines, their AI, right? They were not the smartest. So, when you do things like, I still remember when I was a kid, right? They will ask you questions is, what is your name? And then after you type your name, and then they use that particular name to actually communicate with you, right? So, and yeah, so back then, we could play simple games with machines, or maybe if you are a gamer yourself, right? You can see like your opponents, all they do is they jump every 5 or 10 seconds, or every 5 or 10 seconds they will make a shot, right? So this is where you jump over the opponent and whatnot, right? So back then, machines were very different. That being said, however, as I progressed within the industry, I noticed that there's this particular thing called algo trading, right? And algo trading, what it does is it gets and reads all this information. Based on this information, there are things like they use things like your statistics. So based on certain statistical variables, right, they can actually forecast what is going to happen in the future, right? And based on that, they will do algo trading, right? And these algo trading machines, right, they are much more faster, ruthless, and they make decisions without any emotions, right? And let me tell you why sometimes algo trading could be more efficient, right? The whole thing of it all is sometimes, right, even myself as a person investing, right, I notice my fund managers sometimes, right, they may have certain soft spots or they may like certain stocks, right? And sometimes it may result to them making a less efficient decision, right? Say assuming if they like this particular stock. In this example, Maybank lah example, right? again, I'm not recommending this particular stock, right? Say assuming they like that particular stock, and say assuming right now the banking sector is taking a very bad result season, right? Some fund managers, since they love that particular stock, they will not let go of that stock, even though the whole sector is actually going down, right? So this is where a machine is more efficient, right? So that's one thing. The second thing, right, I noticed is that the cost of operating a fund, right? So normally, I'll tell you how a fund management industry works, right? So normally you have 3 or 4 portfolio managers, right? And each portfolio manager, what they do is one portfolio manager maybe focuses on small caps, right? And they are an expert with regards to small cap. One portfolio manager, they focus on the blue chips and also the big caps, right? And then below the fund managers, you have analysts, right? And what this analyst does is that we will read all these newspapers. Can you imagine right now, right? Some funds, right? You look at your traditional funds, right? They will collect money from their investors, and based on this, they will pay their fund managers and also the analysts, right? And back then, fund managers tend to get quite a fair bit actually. But that being said, right now, with algo and with computers getting smarter, what it does is that it will actually go through the information every day very efficiently. As the news comes in, they will actually read through that information, and based on that one, they use statistical model, and then after that, based on that, they'll ask themselves whether we should buy a certain sector or whether we should sell a certain sector, right? So right now, right, we can see even the investment banking jobs are actually, or investment banking jobs, yeah, they're not even secure as what it used to be, right? So I think back then, right, let me tell you the particular mindset I had, right? So back when I lost my job, right, I decided to retire, right? The whole thing of it all, I lost my job a bit before the pandemic. And at that point in time, after a couple of months, then it came the pandemic. So I told myself, you know what? Why not retire, right? The whole thing of it all, I was also afraid of my health, right? And at that point in time, we were afraid that, whether this COVID thing, whether it's going to be a big thing or whether it's not going, whether it's going to be a little thing, right? So what I decided to do was I told myself I just did not want to work, right? I just wanted to take some time off. I wanted to think. I wanted to just rest, right? And after 1 or 2 years, I told myself, you know what? I want to be back in the job market. So back when I was searching for a job, right? I still remembered I had this particular mindset of telling myself, if if I want things to change, I need to change. If I want the world to be a better place, I need to change myself, right? And it comes down to this particular story where if we improve ourselves, what tends to happen is that we would attract better things in our lives, right? So that was a particular mindset I had, right? And I still remembered I would ask friends whether there was jobs. And one day, lo and behold, a buddy of mine actually asked me whether I wanted to actually help him in this particular startup. And I decided to actually take that particular leap, right? But the whole thing of it all is that right now I'm beginning to see a lot of this mindset, another extreme where they just blame the economy. I got another friend of mine, right? Also lost his job during the pandemic. And I see him, it was very difficult for him to take action. And every time when we ask him, when we give him encouragement to take action, so on and so forth, he would always use that particular card where he says the economy is so bad, it's not even worth trying to search for a job, right? And he will blame almost everything. He will blame company policy, he will blame the economy, he'll blame everything except for improving himself, right? So I think right now, more and more, moving forward, right? The economy is going to be very challenging, right? And also the inflation also is going to be relatively high, right? And I just wanted to just say this particular thing, right? That yes, it's going to be difficult to find jobs. Yes, it's going to be very painful, and it's going to be a lot of going out the comfort zone, right? But if we take action on a daily basis, and every time we take action, we improve ourselves 1% every day, what's going to happen is that we're going to get better results, right? And day by day, if we do not give up, we are consistent and we move towards our goal, eventually, whatever goal we have, whether we want to start a business or whether we want to be employed or whether we want to have a job in a startup, right? It is very possible. The whole thing of it all is that number one, we need to have a plan. And number two, we need to actually execute and take action every day, right? But most importantly, right, the whole thing of it all is I know the economy is not doing the best, right? And I know it's very easy to blame the economy, the inflation, right? But that being said, that will not help you towards taking action. What is a more empowering thought is, right? Yes, things are difficult right now. Yes, I can take action, right? And every day I have this block of time to take action, right? And yes, every time when I take action, I'm getting closer and closer towards my goal, right? So I just wanted to just come out and say, whatever dreams and then whatever hopes that we have, very possible, right? And I know the economy is a bit challenging. Yes, I know that. But know this, right? If we have overcome something very difficult before in our lives, this is just another bump, right? And if we take enough positive action, and if we have a goal, anything is possible, even in this economy, right? With that, if you guys have any comments, please put it down on the comment section. If not, I'll see you guys in the next upcoming episode. Take care, guys.